Are you wanting to improve your disc golf game quickly? In today's podcast, we've got 6 fieldwork drills that you can do right now that is going to take your disc golf game to the next level very quickly. We've got drills on putting, we've got drills on accuracy, we've got drills on throwing. This is the episode for you if you're looking to improve your game and have some structure in how you can do so and do it quickly. As well, on this episode, we've got some awesome advice about tournaments, kind of things to keep in mind for your next disc golf tournament and how you can end up playing better and getting more either cash or merch out of it. Let's get into today's episode right now. Welcome into the Chain Clankers Disc Golf Podcast. Trenton, how are we doing today, man?
What's happening, Quentin? I am doing really good. Can't complain. How are you doing?
Pretty good, man. Very excited to be with you guys here this week. We've got an awesome show. We're going to be doing a little bit of a tournament rewind. We're going to be talking about our latest tournament. We're going to be talking about Trent's podium because we think there's some good advice there, especially if you haven't played in a tournament before, you have a tournament coming up. I think there's some great advice that you can get here, as well as we've got drills that are going to improve your game drastically and quickly on today's episode. Super excited to get into those. So let's start a little bit with Trent. How was your past weekend, man? First podium in disc golf. How'd that feel?
Yeah, it was pretty great. I just want to give a quick shout out to our man Smitty, the Heisernaut. He's on a past episode. Go back and look it up. Chris Smith did a great job running the tournament. But yeah, man, I ended up getting 3rd place in the Brook this year, which was pretty sweet. Fun fact, it was actually tied for first in advanced. I don't know, but it was pretty cool. I shot 7 down for the tournament. Second place was 8 down in intermediate, and first place was 12 down. Takeaways, I think first round, well, overall the entire tournament, I was feeling pretty good, nice and confident. The putt was on. Even the first round, I just was like, you know those shots where you're just a tiny bit off and like you hit the cage or hit the band, but you're like perfectly lined up. That is how I was feeling with the putt first round. My drives, though, were kind of all over the place. I was probably like 60% of the time it went where I wanted it to. But the upshot game and the putting was feeling good, so I was able to salvage a 1 down, which is great. I mean, it was like 9-15 rated, so definitely not complaining. But I knew I had a little more in the tank. And then second round came out. I didn't really switch any of my discs or anything that I threw on each hole. I just knew where my miss was, and I corrected. And luckily on 4 or 5 holes, I was able to correct the mistakes, and the putt got just that little hair better that I needed it to get, and I ended up shooting 6 down on the second round, which was like 967 rated, highest rated round of my life, so super stoked about that. And ended up from the chase card coming up into 3rd place, and yeah, man. Second place was actually, he was 8 down, and he was playing the hardest, well, either the hardest or second hardest hole on the course. That's hole number 11 in the woods at Millbrook, to the long pin, and I finished before him, and I was watching the scorecard, just kind of hoping maybe he would, hit a early tree. Nice round, Chase Boyd. Nice round, but I'm not gonna lie. I told him to his face, I was like, I'm not gonna lie, I was hoping you were gonna bogey that one, but anyhow, I'm super stoked with how it went, and yeah. How was your round? You were in it too.
I want to lay the land for you guys. This tournament started off cloudy, and it had rained the night before, and then it pretty much rained the entirety of the first round, and there's one hole that had a constant backup. I mean, I'm not talking one card. I mean, I think both times we had a 3+ card backup on this hole, and unfortunately there's not a whole lot you can do just because of how the hole plays. A lot of people are going to be hitting early trees. There's 5 people to a card. It's going to take a little bit. You just got to be patient. So thankfully, we actually were under the trees then when it really started raining. So it was nice then. But for me, pretty much, if you didn't know, I was in Europe for a couple weeks. for my other job, my day-to-day, I guess, because this is not our day-to-day yet. But doing that,
Goals.
yes, for sure. And so I was doing that, and I hadn't touched a disc in 2 or 3 weeks. And coming into this tournament, this was my first week back in the States, and I really was not feeling good or confident in my game whatsoever. And that led me to be timid when putting, especially. I could feel my timidness. I mean, I had what I thought was an ace, and I ended up going about 15, 20 feet past the basket, and it ended with me getting a par and not sinking the birdie like I typically would. So that was a little bit frustrating. But to start my round, I had to start on the second most difficult hole that day, and I was the last one to throw. So I watched 4 people in front of me hit the gap, be fine, easy pars if they wanted them, and I hit first available. And I was like, well, that kind of sucks. That's not how I wanted today to start. But if I take a bogey, oh well, it's one hole. It's a very scoreable course. I can get under par. I've shot I've shot down 7 at this course before. I'm not that worried about it. It is what it is. I ended up taking a double bogey because one of my upshots was looking really good and then just caught a root and it stopped it in its tracks instead of continuing towards the basket. Whatever. After the first hole, I'm sitting at +2. Not where I'd like to be, obviously. But then the next hole is an island hole. I miss my jump putt. Whatever. Park the next basket. Get feeling good. And then fourth hole, like I said, I thought I aced it about 15, 20 feet long, but literally directly in line with the basket and missed the birdie putt. And that's just kind of the last time I had any resemblance of confidence in that round. What happened was, anytime I was outside of 10 feet, even at 10 feet, there was no confidence on the green. I was unable to hit the putts that I wanted, and it wasn't that I wasn't able to focus on the basket or anything like that. I was just doing this weird wrist motion that would cause me to miss right instead of hitting the basket where I normally am, and I had to work myself out of this funk just by putting more, and not putting for 3 weeks definitely did not help me get past all of that. And so for me, the first round, very uneventful. I got like the double bogey and 2 more bogeys, and I think I got 1 birdie. It was not very good on a course that even a typical round is down 3, if not more. And it was a terrible rated round. I think it was 60 or more points below what my rating is. And I felt very defeated. I was in last place, and I just had no confidence going into the second round. Trent and we got some lunch. I lost my primetime parking spot because he did better, so I said I would drive. And then going into the second round, we
put a sixer.
We put a sixer on it, baby. We put a sixer on it, and I shot 6 down. I was feeling well. We tied, both shooting 6 down the second round. And I didn't look at scores the entire time. And I was like, man, I'm feeling good. I got this sixer in line. And then I saw he shot 6 down also. I said, oh, you've got to be kidding me. Of course he did.
Yeah, that was definitely a good time. Like I said, you were talking about confidence a little bit. This was definitely the first tournament. If you look me up on PDGA, you'll see that usually one tournament's pretty bad and one tournament's kind of okay. It's generally my first round is okay, and my second round I kind of fall apart in all my other tournaments. This was the first tournament that both rounds I was feeling really good. I felt like I could make a putt from 40 feet. I was like, we'll see what happens. I felt like I could make it. I can definitely say I made a couple circle 2s, like right on the edge of circle 1s, like 35-footers. Like I think the last hole of the tournament was like a 30. It was close to the edge of circle, 30 to 35 feet, and I cashed it for a birdie. So I was just feeling good the whole tournament. It's the first time I've ever had that happen, and I tell you what, I mean, kind of like Quentin said, the course is definitely scoreable, but if I can keep that mindset going into every tournament, it would be fantastic. And I too was doing the same thing you were talking about doing with the putt before the tournament, where I was doing like a weird wrist motion and I was pulling it to the right. And what I did to fix that was I just kind of slowed down, like instead of trying to spin it at the end, because that's, I don't know, I naturally throw a spin putt a little bit. I just literally just tried to just keep my hand straight, just like I talk about in the putting video, shake baskets with the hand. But instead of like making a like obvious shake, I'm just slowly, It's crazy, but it helped a ton, and I made quite a few putts.
Yeah, absolutely. And for me, it was one of those things where this week I got back in the laboratory and put my disc dots on the basket.
Dexter, baby.
And yes, sir. And was focusing on my putting and just trying to get my swag back. I think that's something in disc golf that is really critical, is you have to have a little bit of swagger out on the course. If you're not confident in yourself, no one's going to be confident in you, and you're not going to play as well as you'd like to. And that's just straight up facts right there. If you have no confidence, if you're not feeling good, if you're telling yourself negative things, you are not going to have a good scoring round. For me, the second round, I was able to drown out all of that negativity, and what really kicked me off was the first hole I started on. This is funny. I was supposed to start on hole 15. It's like 3 minutes before the round is supposed to start, and we're all introducing ourselves, and everyone said their name, and I said, either you four are on the wrong hole, or I'm on the wrong hole, and I think it's me. And I looked at it again, and I said, oh, shoot, dang, brother, I have to go to hole 9. And did I take off on a little bit of a run? Yes, sir, I did, because I was not going to get that par plus 4 for being late. And I got there in time, no big deal. Thankfully, another guy also was in the same boat as me. And
well, everyone had the same problem. Thank you. Shout out Daniel Cui. He caught it before we did. Continue.
Sorry. Yeah, you're all good. And so, very first hole of the second round, I threw a disc that I have not thrown in at least 2 months. I said, you know what, boys? The tee pads are super slick. I have no confidence in my footing. I tried to throw a mid-range here, and I know I can throw a mid-range on this hole typically, but I came up early because I was trying to throw it harder in the first round, slipped on the pad, came out early. It was a terrible shot. I almost had a heck of a throw-in for 2, but nonetheless, took a par there. This time, I took a little bit of a higher speed disc that was a little bit more understable, so I didn't have to throw it as hard, and I absolutely piped it and was 2 inches off the pole. That is a great way to start my round.
Heck yeah.
Next hole, I saw Trenton on this long hole. It's probably the longest hole. I saw him throw a nice forehand.
It was like 450?
Something like that. And I said, you know what, boys? I can do that also. Knowing damn well I could not do that. And so the first round, it went really, really bad. The second round, I said, I'm just going to throw my simple hyzer. Maybe I'll get a little bit of a flip ski out of it. I parked the short basket, but it's in the long basket, so it's an extra 100 feet or so. And give it a good run. Whatever. Nice, easy, tap in 3. Come up to hole 11, the one that got me the double bogey. I get past the gap, throwing a different shot this time. Nice, easy par. I miss the island on the next hole. And I'm like, dang it. There goes all my luck. And so now I'm putting from the drop zone. And I cashed the putt, boys. The putt has been cashed. Baby. Step putt. That was the first circle 2 putt I made all day. I then go on and make another circle 2 putt on the next basket with death behind me, with river behind the basket. And there I am. I've made 2 circle putts, and that's literally the difference right now in my game. Is the first round, I was missing those circle 2 putts by a couple of inches, where now I was canning those circle 2 putts. That completely flips the script. So you cannot be playing a good first round, and all you have to do is change just ever so slightly. A couple things go your way to start your round, and you can completely change the outlook of your round and of the tournament. And that's facts, and that's a mental mindset. You gotta grab onto those highs and take them with you, and don't let go of them, and recognize the lows, but don't dwell on them, and just simply move on.
Agreed. Couldn't say it better. And let me just get a quick shout out. disc.usa.com. Get yourself some of those. 10% off. Use code Chain Clankers. Tell you what, they are game changers. They've helped me tremendously. I started using them, 3-4 months ago. My putt has improved.
After I started yelling at
insane
you
amount.
That you need to use them, because I've been a long time supporter. Ever since we did our show with Disc Dot, I love Disc Dot. Every chance I get, people literally come up to me on the streets and are like, Q, come on, man.
On the streets.
On the streets. They're like, fam, do those things actually work, or are you just saying that because you get paid to say that? Nah, fam, I say it because it's legit. We don't work with anybody we don't believe in. I don't promote things I don't believe in. I believe in Disc Dot, and I know it can make your game better. Why spend $20 on another putter when you can spend $20 on a tool that is actually going to make your game better, is going to make your putting better? It makes no sense to me. You gotta give it a shot. Just give it a shot. Let us know how it is. Using that promo code does help support us. We do get a little bit of a kickback from that, so we definitely appreciate you using that code. And like I said, we completely believe in their product, and I've seen it work. My swag, I'm feeling it. It's back. I've been doing these drills that we're getting ready to talk about in my backyard, and I feel like I'm ready to get back out there and kill it. And I know you can feel the same by working with Disc.USA. Again, promo code Chain Clankers. Save yourself 10% and make more putts out on the course. That's facts. By the time we're recording this and this comes out, I really hope we've already done it. We're going to have an awesome giveaway coming when we hit 1,000 YouTube subscribers. We're giving away an Upper Park field trainer bag. We're giving away a Socky Bomb Slammer and a couple other discs. So if you're not subscribed on YouTube, you better go subscribe on YouTube. Yeah. Trent's holding up a awesome worship for our audio listeners. There's good value over there on YouTube because, I mean, the podcast drops. We got a video that comes out on Wednesday, and we have a highlight video that comes out on Friday that takes the podcast, condenses it down to one core subject pretty much, about 10 minutes long. And, it's really good. It's really fun. Like the Zach Melton one that just dropped, super, super good. I was able to remember a couple things and learn from it.
Hey, let's get a quick shout out. Horatio will be back on the channel for those of you that when we do the Flashback Fridays. That's what I'm calling it right now, just because I feel like it.
I like that.
Old Horatio's back on the channel because all you guys know he stepped away for a little bit. I came in here, so now you get to listen to me and see my beautiful face every once in a while, or once a week, I guess. But he'll be on those because obviously it's just a rerun or I guess a highlight. It's a highlight. Yeah, it's a flashback of the OG
Flashback Fridays
episodes.
So let's get into these drills that we've come up with that will drastically improve your disc golf game. I know, and I put this on the Instagram story, I've got a drill that I personally have come up with 100% off the dome that I've been working on in my backyard, and it will help your upshots. It will help your circle 2 putting. It will help your circle 1 putting. It'll help if you're a staggered putter. It'll help your it doesn't matter how you putt. It's either going to be, it's going to work both ways. I'd love to explain it, but I'm going to put it on the Patreon first. I'm going to put it on the Patreon. I'm going to give it to those people first. We're going to see the reactions. And if you want to get this drill, if you want to improve all those things in your literal backyard, and all it takes is maybe 5 to 10 minutes a day, it does not take long. You don't have to do it for hours and hours and hours. You got to sign up for our Patreon. And we're going to be putting more exclusive content over on Patreon. It only costs you $5 a month. So that's the lowest tier you can get.
Unless you want to pledge a little more.
That's true. If you want to be on the podcast as well as get some other things, you can pledge a little bit more, which we definitely do appreciate. But it's one of those things where we're going to start putting a lot. Not a lot. When I say a lot, not like every single tip, but like we're going to start putting more exclusive things over there on the Patreon. When we do some interviews, we might even have a little bit of a like behind the scenes episode or like a after hours show or something like that we might put up over there. So if you want to get that stuff, it's patreon.com/chainclankers. Check it out and you will be able to get that exclusive content because it's coming, folks. It is absolutely coming. Let's get into these drills. Let's start with the first one. This one, I really think this is another good one that will help you with your putting. It's called the Paul McVeigh putting drill. And so here's the breakdown of how the drill works. Paul McVeigh's putting drill from an older edition of Disc Golfer magazine is a nice little variation from some of the other putting drills we've seen in the past. Start by placing markers 10 feet out every 5 feet until you get to about 35 feet. You will be throwing 3 discs. If you make all 3, you move back 5 feet to the next marker. If you make only 2, you stay put, and if you make only 1, move 5 feet closer to the basket. And something that I really like, and I've done this a little bit myself as well. You can also play this where if you miss all 3, you start over. So this drill, what it does, it will make you a better putter because you're finding your comfort circle and you're starting in a good spot. You know what putts you can make and what putts you struggle with, so that helps your upshots because you know where you need to land. As well, we always talk about tournaments. There's so much pressure. League night, there's more pressure than just going out and playing with your friends. This puts so much pressure on you because if you miss even one of them, you don't get to go back. The drill is completed when you get to 35 and you're done. That's it. The drill's done. But let's say you get to 15 and you start missing. Now there's pressure to make it. Or let's say here you are sitting at 30, you've made the first two, you might be shaking in your boots on the third one because you want to move to 35, right? You're building pressure. And any drill you can do that builds pressure is going to make you a better disc golfer because you become more comfortable in the pressure. That's how tournaments don't affect you. That's how league nights don't affect you. That's how you can have that Mamba mentality and play better in those events. So this drill is a really good one. It doesn't take that long. It's going to build your confidence. It's going to build your stroke. It's going to build pressure reps. And I think those are critical to improving your game quickly. That's the key word here. We know that you don't have 24 hours a day to work on disc golf. We want you to improve quickly. And I think this one is a very surefire way to do that.
100%. The next one that I got for you is going to be one where you are going to do while you're at the course. So this is going to take a little bit longer. It's going to add a little bit of time to your round, but it is going to, you guessed it, help you get better. This is a worst shot round. So what I mean by that is when you play, if you've played doubles, you usually throw 2 off the tee. And what do you normally take? The best shot. Well, this time you're playing solo by yourself. I wouldn't recommend doing it with your friends unless you and your friend are doing it together. Then you're just enjoying, each other's company and taking a little bit longer to throw. But if you're out there by yourself, or if the people with you are with are okay with you throwing 2 shots, go for it. But point being, you throw 2 shots off the tee, and you play, you guessed it, the worst shot off after every tee shot. This will not only help you play from your. It'll help you work on your short game and your approach shots and all of that good stuff and play from the unfavorable positions. But on the positive side, it's going to build the pressure that Quentin was talking about. It is also going to get you, or you're going to work on throwing 2 good shots in a row. You always know that player B is usually always better than player A. Well, this time, doing this helps you get player A and B, and all I mean by that is the second throw or second putt of every throw is always better. It helps you get player A and B in sync, so both shots are a lot better. And I think it will pay dividends to work on playing the worst shot rather than the best shot all the time.
The next drill we have is an accuracy drill, and you're going to be doing this in the field, and all this requires is 10 discs and somewhat of a straight line. What I want you to work on here, and I talked about it a little bit on our last podcast, but to explain it more, what you need is you need a straight line. A football field is great, a soccer field is great, anything where you can throw in a straight line. Your goal for the first 2 sets, so 20 throws, you're trying to throw your disc as far as you can that is landing on the white line. This is showing you how accurate you can be at certain amounts of distances. So let's say you can only throw 150 feet and you can hit it flat, straight on the line every single time. Well, great. Knowledge is power. You now know that if you need to hit a tunnel shot and it needs to be exactly flat on a rope, you're going to throw it about 150. But if you try to throw it any further, you're not going to be able to throw. It's not going to land where you want to. The next goal, you're going to do 2 sets, another 20 throws, and you're going to throw hyzers. The first 2 sets, your goal is to throw it on the right side of the line and have it land on the line. This is training you to throw the hyzer to come to a certain point. The next 2 sets, you're still throwing hyzers, but this time you're aiming at the white line and you're letting your disc land wherever it lands. The point of this is to point your body in the motion, in the direction that you want to throw. This allows you to work on that hyzer release and you know that where you're aiming and where your body is aiming, that is where you're going to throw. So the first 2 sets is working on landing zone. The second 2 sets is working on the physical throw itself and making sure it comes out clean and making sure you're throwing on your intended line, not necessarily worrying about the destination. The next 2 sets, you're going to anhyzers. You're trying to land on the white line and you're doing anhyzers and you're just focusing on hitting the white line. That's the plane of your disc. That's the level. That's exactly where you're releasing it on. You're not releasing it to the left this time and trying to finish on the white line. Instead, you're starting on the white line and you're not worried about landing zone. You're just worried about how far can you throw the disc, how long can it travel on that white line before it starts to break. So far you've thrown 60 shots. And then the next 2 sets, you're going to do that forehands. You're going to try to land on the white line, and then 2 more sets, you're going to aim on the white line, see how long the disc carries on it before it finally breaks. So that's 80 throws. The next thing you're going to do to hit that magic number of 100 is I want you to do 2 sets of how far can you throw it, and let's just not worry about landing zone. So that kind of incorporates just a little bit of distance, and it allows you in real time to see the difference between your accurate shots and when you're just bombing. Are you still able to hit the white line when you're just bombing? That'd be great if you are, but if you're not, you can find the range and you can feel what it feels like to throw an accurate shot. So that way when you get on the course, you know how hard you have to throw it in order to hit that distance and hit that accuracy. I love the football field because the yard markers will tell you how far you're throwing the disc, and this is something where that can take you, let's say, 30 minutes. You've put 100 reps in. If you go to the course and you drive off of every single tee pad just one time, that's 18 throws. In literally 5 minutes, you can accomplish more in field work than you would in a round just by throwing. And you're having a goal and an intent when you're throwing. Doing those things with this drill will allow you to work on accuracy, a little bit on distance, and you will become a better disc golfer quicker because you're also learning how your discs fly, and in doing so, you'll be able to have more confidence and more trust in them, which goes back to the beginning of this episode. Confidence is everything. If you have confidence in your discs and your throw, you're going to play a lot better.
The next drill is obstacle drill putting, and it is exactly what it sounds like. You can do this at home. You can do this at the course. You put an obstacle between you and the basket, and you take 2 putters. Everyone, if you don't have the 2 of the same putters, get 2 of the same putters. It'll make a big difference. otbdisc.com, code Clankers, free shipping. But if you don't have 2 putters, take 2 different molds. Doesn't matter. The point is to make at least 1 putt from every obstructed location. Do this for, I would try to get at least 50 putts up doing this. So pick 25 spots or pick the same spot 5 times and have 5 different spots. However you want to do it. Do straddle putts, put a tree in front of you, put a low-hanging branch, go over the branch. Maybe do a squatted putt, go under the branch, putt from your knees. All of these things are going to help you when you get into these awkward situations for putting. And if you have a basket at home, find a tree, find whatever you can, set some things up. This will help amazingly. If you guys follow Johnny McVeigh, who's been on the show before, he'll post videos every once in a while where he's putting from the most obscene spots with a little tunnel that's like 2 feet wide, and that's what he does. He does this drill, obstacle drill putting. I haven't posted anything, but I do this in my backyard. I have a couple trees. I have a line of trees that just make it challenging. Doing this will take away the random putts that you have to figure out on the course and bring them to your backyard, or if you're at the course, do it at the course. But this will help when you get into those awkward positions, and you'll at least have a feel for what you need to do, and it'll be a lot more comfortable when it comes down to the round or tournament or league or whatever for you to make these putts.
The next drill I have is a pretty simple and easy one. It's the towel drill, and you can use this a couple of different ways. You can use it to warm up before your practice rounds or your tournament rounds. But what the towel drill is you take a towel and you just emulate your swing. You're acting like you're throwing a disc golf disc, but you're just using a towel. What this does is you can work on your timing and you can work on your body motion, so you can work on that X step, right? Your plant foot, your right foot, if you're a right-hander, should land at the peak of your reach back. And here's a quick pro tip. You shouldn't actually be reaching back when you're throwing. The disc should be in a standstill location and your body is moving around it. So at the point that the disc is at its furthest back is when your foot should be planting, and then you engage your hips. So doing the flight towel allows you to do the full motion without actually having to throw. So the first part is you work on your timing, getting your reach back and your plant foot linked up. They're hitting at the same time. So you do that for a couple minutes to really get in line, get your timing correct, get it down. Then you work on your full motion. So you work on getting your elbow to 90 degrees, making that power pocket, coming through the power pocket and fully following through. Either that's on a hyzer where you're finishing up, that's flat where you're finishing straight, or that's anhyzer where you're finishing down. You're able to work on your follow through. You're able to work and visualize that power pocket and get in the exact motion you need to be without the worry of having to throw the disc, without the pressure of where is the disc going to land. Because I think a big deterrent when trying to work on your form and trying to get better is, well, the throw was, air quote, good, but it went 100 feet and it wasn't very accurate. You're going to have to take 2 steps back in order to take 3 steps forward. So this drill takes out the unnecessary pressure of watching the disc fly and seeing where it lands, and you're able to just focus on your form, which will give you more confidence to continue to work on it. You'll be able to fix your form, and slowly over time, you'll be able to see those actual results. So the flight towel, you're just using it. You got your towel. You're practicing your throws, getting that timing linked up, and you're following through fully. You can really practice your follow through, really get into it, act like you're throwing. Trent and I do this before we throw. We do a couple of these, really get warmed up, get our timing straight, and boom, we're ready to go. So this is not one that takes forever, but it's a good one to work on your form. You can do this literally anywhere in your home, as long as you have a towel.
Don't forget to record yourself too.
Yeah, exactly. If you record yourself a little bit, you'll be able to see what are you doing right, what are you not doing right. You don't have to worry about the disc there. You can just watch it, slow it down, do it in real time, all those things. That's a really good one.
Another putting drill I got for you to do with you and another person, your buddy, whoever it might be. It's 1v1 putting drill. Each player has 2 discs. You start at 5 feet. Yes, you start at 5 feet, go to 35, and you go every 5 feet. And for the beginner or intermediate to make the drill a little bit less challenging, as long as you both make 1 disc or 1 putt from each position, so 5, 10, 15, 20, etc. As long as you each make 1 putt from each position, you move back. The first person to miss both loses, and you can play this as many rounds as you want, best of 5, however many you want to do it. If you want to step it up a notch, ratchet it down a hair, you have to make both putts from each position before you can push back between you and your buddy. This will add the pressure. This will do all the fun stuff we've been talking about. I'm not going to beat it down on you. But anyways, you make both putts from each spot, and the first person to miss a putt is the loser. And you can do best of 5, best of 10, however you want to do that. That's a fun drill. Quinn and I might be making a video of that soon. I don't know. We just sounds kind of fun. Might be kind of interesting to do. Put a little money or something on the line. And yeah, but 1v1 drill. It'll be a great time with you and your buddy. Don't get in any fights over it. It's just putting. But have a good time. And ratchet the pressure up.
Put a 6er
get
on
into
it.
those fun situations. Put a 6er on
Put a 6er on
or
it.
30 or whatever.
Yeah. I think that's going to wrap it up for today's episode. That was 6 really fun and easy drills that you can take and implement right now that is going to make you a better disc golfer quickly. Make sure you hit the subscribe button if you want more tips like this. Last week's episode, we gave you 7 tips on how you can become a more consistent disc golfer. We've got some other great episodes out there. If you're a new player, We dropped a show a couple weeks ago, 7 things AMs do that they need to stop doing. Check it out. You don't want to fall behind. You want to improve your game, so hit the subscribe button. Again, if we haven't hit the 1,000 subscribers over on YouTube, and even if we have and you haven't done it already, hit the subscribe button over on YouTube. Awesome giveaway going on over there. We really appreciate your guys' support. If you're still listening and you want that exclusive bonus content and maybe even bonus interviews, make sure you head over to our Patreon right now, patreon.com/Chain Clankers, and get yourself signed up. We appreciate your support. It helps us become better podcasters and improve the setup we have. Trenton, any final words before we get out of here?
Make sure you're checking us out on Instagram. We do a lot of talking with the folks. You can see daily content from our man, Q-Dog. That's what I'm calling you now.
I like it.
That's what I'm calling you. Check us out on Facebook, Chain Clankers Disc Golf. That page is almost to 200. We want to keep growing that. We just kind of started messing with that, but there's a fun discussion going down there every day. Let us know what you think of these Friday flashback episodes. If you guys have an episode you love and you want a quick hitter, comment down below which episode you want us to do next, and we'll see what we can do there. And I mean, yeah, thanks to everyone who's subscribing, coming, liking, following, checking out the content. Don't forget, we give away a disc every month, so there's an easy reason. There's another reason to subscribe to YouTube, get exclusive. We've been doing a lot of Thought Space lately, but it's going to be, I don't know what's going to be next, so just tune in, and we'll just keep doing it. And we seem to have giveaways going on constantly, so make sure you guys are sticking around on the socials and on YouTube. And
that's going to wrap it up. We're done.
That's all I got. Yeah, that's all I got.
Hit the end record
Bye.
button. We're out of here. Have a good week, guys. Enjoy your rounds. Let's get better at disc golf together, and let's get this boat on the water. We'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye now.